Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Qudrat Ullah. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Theriogenology, Cholistan University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Bahawalpur, Punjab, Pakistan. Today, my topic of presentation is ovulation synchronization in dairy cattle. These are outlines of my study. First, we will discuss about the ovulation, then synchronization, then housing or timed AI. And then we will discuss about the ovarian dynamics during housing protocol, significance of this protocol, various housing protocol used, future recommendations, and finally about the conclusion of this topic. So what is ovulation? Ovulation is actually the release of egg from the Graafian follicle, or we can say it is the process in which the large antral follicle or Graafian follicle ruptures and there is release of ovum along with follicular fluids. Ovulation is basically of two types. One is spontaneous and the other one is induced one. In case of cattle, ovulation is of spontaneous type. Spontaneous ovulation is the one in which there is no need for stimulus in the form of coitus or mating. If you look onto the right side picture, we can see a Graafian follicles. We can see a ruptured Graafian follicles that shows the ovulation process. There are actually three factors responsible for ovulation to occur. Number one are the enzymes, proteolytic enzymes that causes the degradation of the follicular wall. These enzymes includes plasminogen activator, plasmin, and matrix metalloproteinases. The second factor is the intrafollicular pressure, which develops due to the continuous production of estrogen hormone by the theca internal cells of Graafian follicle. The third and the most important factor is the LSS or surge release of luteinizing hormone, which is approximately 22 nanogram per ml. LH hormone is released by the anterior part of the pituitary gland in response to the GnRH hormone. If you look onto the right side pictures, the upper image shows the presence of Graafian follicle or large antral follicle on the ovary, while the lower image shows the presence of a corpus luteum and small follicles on the ovary. So synchronization. The word synchronization is derived from a Greek word synchronous, which means happening of biological events at the same time. It is the coordination of events to operate a system in unison. Or we can say it is a technique or a process by which most of the females in a herd can be brought together in estrus or ovulation at a specific time with reasonable accuracy. What is ovulation synchronization? This technique was first time introduced by Richard Pursley and his colleagues in 1995, who was a professor of animal science at Kansas State University, USA. Ovulation synchronization can be abbreviated as housing or it can be termed as timed artificial insemination (TAI). Ovulation synchronization is basically the coordination of reproductive hormones along with corpus luteum and follicular dynamics to produce an optimized hormonal environment in which all the animals in the herd ovulate and become pregnant at a predetermined or specific time that is called as perfect synchronization. It is actually the manipulation of estrous cycle to exhibit ovulation in majority of animals at a predetermined time. Ovarian dynamics during housing protocol. If we look into the upper right side pictures, the first GnRH injections is administered at a random stage of the estrous cycle that will cause the ovulation of the Graafian follicle if it is present on the ovary, and along with ovulation of Graafian follicle there will be emergence of the new follicular wave during the next 7 days tenure. After day 7, the PGF2 alpha injection is given, which will cause the regression of the corpus luteum if it is present on the ovary. 9 days after the first GnRH injection or 48 hours after the PGF2 alpha injection, a second GnRH injection is given, which will cause the surge release of LH, which is more than 22 nanogram per ml. Due to the surge release of LH, there will be ovulation of the Graafian follicle, and all the animals in a herds in which we use these protocols, they will ovulate after 16 to 56 hours, or on the average of 24 hours, and then when they will come when they ovulate at a predetermined time, then we will go for insemination of all those animals at unison. What can we address with this OSYNC protocol, or what is the significance of ovulation synchronization protocol? If we look into the dairy industry, there are three major challenges. Number one is the poor estrus detection, second is the proper time for AI, and third one is the poor conception rate. In case of OSYNC protocol, since we did not rely on estrus detection, but we go for AI, exactly after the use of protocol, so these like issues are very much resolved by ovulation synchronization protocol. The second one is the precise time for AI, no need for estrus detection. It is very important to point that in case of ovulation synchronization, we do not rely on estrus detection, which is very much important in estrus synchronization protocol. It synchronizes the time of their ovulation to ensure that cows calve at the optimum time of the breeding season. Prompt breeding of highly producing dairy cows, whether cycling or non-cyclic animals. This protocol is equally important both for cyclic and non-cyclic animals. In case of cyclic animals, there is a modified techniques in which we use cedars, which contains progesterone. This protocol is equally important for repeat breeders or returns. This protocol is very much efficient for seasonal breeders. If we go for the application of these protocols in the start of the breeding seasons, then maximum of the animals in the herd, they will ovulate at the same time, and then we go for AI of all these animals. Most of the animals will conceive at the same time, and maximum of the animals, they will parturiate at the same time. This will be very much useful for for management purpose at the dairy farm. These ovulation synchronization protocol or estrus synchronization protocols, both are important steps of the embryo transfer. In case of ovulation synchronization, the pregnancy rate per AI are much more as compared to the estrus synchronization protocol. This ovulation synchronization protocol is equally important for repeat breeders, infertile animals, or those non-cyclic animals with ovarian disorders in the form of follicular cyst or luteal cysts. This protocol also reduces the chances of embryonic losses in animals. And the last important feature of this protocol is that it reduces the cost. It is not that much expensive protocol. There are multiple protocols used for ovulation synchronization of the dairy cattle. Some of the important protocols are discussed in the next slides. As discussed earlier, this is the standard ovulation synchronization protocol for cyclic animals discussed by Richard Pursley in 1995. This protocol includes the first GnRH injection on a random day of the estrus cycle, which will cause the ovulation of the Graafian follicle, and there will be the emergence of the new follicular waves that will develop during the next 7 days tenure. Then, after 7 days of the first GnRH injection, a PGF2 alpha injection is given at day 7, which will cause the regression of the corpus luteum. A second GnRH injection is given 9 days after the first GnRH injection, or it is given 48 hours after the PGF2 alpha injection. The second GnRH injection will cause the ovulation of the Graafian follicle. With the use of the second GnRH injection, all the animals that are involved in this protocol, they will ovulate at the same time, and eventually we will go for AI of all these animals within 16 to 20 hours. Cow sync protocol is basically a modified 7 days of sync protocol. In Gaussian protocol, all the protocol is similar. The difference is only that the second GnRH injection is given along with along with AI. The second GnRH, when we administer the second GnRH, at the same time with the second GnRH injection, we go for insemination of the animal. This will decrease one handling event, and it will make it more acceptable for the producer. This housing protocol is meant for non-cyclic animals. It is almost similar to the standard housing protocols or the protocol which is used for cyclic animals. The difference is that in this protocol we insert CIDR, controlled internal drug releasing device, which contains 1.38 gram of progesterone. We place this CIDR for approximately 8 days in the vagina of the animal. Next to that, this protocol is similar to the standard offsync protocol, which is meant for cyclic animals. Supplementation of progesterone before AI, or the use of CIDR in this protocol, is important because progesterone is an important hormone for the maintenance and establishment of the pregnancy. It improves the fertility and pregnancy rate per AI. It also decreases the chances of early embryonic mortality, as well as it improves the heat signs, estrus signs in animals. It also improves the growth and health of the developing fetus. The next modified protocol is resynchronization protocol. It is modified of sync protocol. This protocol is very beneficial for the return animals or those females in which we apply the housing protocols but they did not conceive. This protocol is almost similar to the protocol for the non-cyclic animals, in which we inject the first GnRH injection on the random day of the estrus cycle, along with insertion of the CIDR for 7 to 9 days, and then second injection, then PGF2 alpha injection after 6 to 8 days, and the second injection of GnRH after 36 hours. By injecting the second GnRH, all the animals will ovulate, and after 6 to 20 hours, we will go for AI of all those animals. Ovulation synchronization protocol is very beneficial when it is applied at the start of the breeding season. At the start of the breeding season or before the start of the breeding season, almost all animals, they will parturiate, and and after parturition we will wait for the voluntary waiting period, which is approximately 50 to 60 days, and after voluntary waiting periods we will apply the protocol randomly to all the animals with the which is the protocol is almost similar to the standard housing protocol with the use of cedar for 7 to 9 days. These protocols will enable all the animals in the herd to ovulate at the same time. Similarly, they will conceive at the same time and will parturiate at the same time. This will cause an ease in management of the dairy farm. Cedar sync or ovulation synchronization protocol for cycling and non-cyclic animals. This protocol is very much beneficial and interesting for the farmers who want to apply the housing protocols blindly without differentiating between the cycling and non-cycling animals. For example, some farmers did not have facilities of ultrasonography, or they did not have that much expertise for examination of Graafian follicles on the ovary, for the presence of corpus luteum on the ovary, or examining the reproductive tract of the animals. So they can blindly use this protocol both for cycling and non-cycling animals without relying on the days of the estrus cycle or stage of the estrus cycle. This will cause all the animals, whether cyclic or non-cyclic animals, to ovulate at the same times, and then we can go for AI of all those animals. Future recommendations for the housing protocol. If someone wants to apply this housing protocol on his herd, then he should examine the animals for the days postpartum, which is voluntary waiting period 50 to 60 days postpartum. He should also examine the animals for the BCS, which is body score condition, should not be less than 4 to 5. The animal should be in good body score condition. Many factors like physiological condition, nutritional factors, co-comfort, health issues, stress, diseases, malnutrition can affect the success of this program. Facilities like availability of the labor, availability of skilled persons, and the most important, the availability of the budget or finances for this program are very much important. Other factors to be considered in protocol selections includes the type of the protocol used and the duration of the protocol, for how much time the protocol should be applied, number of times handled, and the availability to successfully apply the housing protocol. Ovulation synchronization protocol is routinely used in developed countries like US, Australia, Europe, etc. But in developing countries like Pakistan, India, we still rely on the traditional estrus synchronization protocol, which is the use of two PG injection 11 days apart. This protocol helps in getting most of the herd pregnant earlier in the breeding season. The ovulation synchronization protocol is very useful for animals if it is applied at the start of the breeding season. So most of the animals they will ovulate at the same time, and then they will conceive at the same time, and then they will eventually parturiate at the same times, which will help in easy management of the dairy farm. Ovulation synchronization protocol is much more reliable and relatively simple as compared to the ester synchronization protocols. If you look into the literatures, there are many studies which have reported much more higher fertility rate, much more pregnancy per AI through ovulation synchronization protocol as compared to the traditional ester synchronization protocol. Thank you for watching and listening to my presentation. If you have any question, you can catch me through my email address, which is given over here, qudratullah1 at the rate of cuas.edu.bk. Thank you so much.